I'm your host, Freddy Flattemus, and you are watching. You are watching none other than Get to the Point. All right, what we like to do, I am, as I said, your host, Freddy Flattemus, the fantabulous Freddy Flattemus. Oh, I love that picture of me. Oh, I just love that picture. Oh, praise the Lord and pass the gravy. Yes, we like to look at news and politics and perhaps get into the sports. We were looking a little bit at the international scene. If we're lucky, we might be getting a visit on the old Zoom chat. Today, I do have a call out there, and we'll see if he picks up. But wouldn't that be nice? Get a guest in the studio. And I'm looking, and nothing yet. We, of course, are coming to you live in 3D. We have all sorts of fantastic props and things to play with. Can I give you a hand? Right? All right, okay, yeah. Looks like Trench Digger's been into the archives. They've been getting into all sorts of old props, and they have lots of fantastic things ahead of you for not just the holidays, but also 2022. And of course, you have me, your host, Freddy Flattemus. Get to the point. We're going to be looking at all sorts of things today. First of all, let's talk about what kind of day it is. Today is, of course, December 7th, and a day that will live in infamy. I was going to take a look at a little bit of what happened that day, and we'll pay tribute with some wonderful words that President Brand said to us. Okay, I believe the president might have partook in the storming of King Kamehameha in the Big Island with Captain Cook's expedition. I'm not sure. It seems like he's been there the whole time, but he's there today, and in voice anyway, voice and spirit. And let's take a little listen to what he had to say.
Participated in Beyond Pearl Harbor. December 7th, 1941 is still that day that lives in infamy 80 years later.
As I told you, infamy.
I'll never forget visiting the USS Arizona Memorial 10 years ago. Pay my respects to the 2,403 patriots who lost their lives in that terrible December day. 1,177 on the Arizona alone. Seeing those names inscribed in the marble, sprinkling flower petals into the sea, I brought my granddaughter, Naomi, with me.
Oh,
because
this
we
is
must always remember what Pearl Harbor meant for our country.
Okay, this is getting a little creepy. I'm gonna check out here. But yes, there it is, the USS Arizona Memorial. I've been there myself. It is still leaking oil, if you can believe. From that fateful day, it was gassed all the way up. I know that Mr. Sylvester and Mr. Dodge are going to be covering a lot of World War II in their upcoming continuation of the series Tales of Old Portland coming in 2022. So I should put out a plug for that. I believe they're going to be picking right up with World War II and its impact on Portland. Speaking of impact on Portland, let's see how World War III is going. It seems we have no takers on the comments, but if you want to comment, we are not eligible for super chats yet. I don't know what that's all about. But you know, I don't know. Anyway, I was going to take a look at the local news. And the local news got some great stories. Portland police shoot and kill armed carjacking suspect. This comes from KGW News. Let's take a look at this one. This looks fun. And yeah, Portland police shoot and kill armed carjacking suspect. I hope it's not anybody I know or that was with me on Thanksgiving, because that would be very unfortunate. Okay, you gonna play for me there, Smokey? Come on, Come on. There we go.
Side in North Portland, I-5 shut down in both directions.
Anything we respond to is dangerous. Anything we respond to, you just can't predict how it's going to go.
Nathan Shepard of the Portland Police Bureau says it all started Monday morning with a home invasion robbery. According to the Oregonian, it happened near Northeast Grant Place and 32nd. That's right by Beverly Cleary School. The Oregonian reports a short time later, shots were fired near the Hyatt Regency in the Lloyd district. Police say the suspect followed that up with several armed carjackings, at least one in the area of I-5 and Rosa Parks Way. The suspect, we're told, then drove southbound in the northbound lanes of the interstate.
That'll always get you.
The suspect got out of his vehicle and attempted another carjacking. He stopped the vehicle, and in the course of that carjacking, he shot one of the occupants. From what I understand, the occupant has been taken to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
Moments after that shooting, authorities say officers shot and killed the suspect. The threat was over. The investigation just beginning.
This is a very complex investigation with a lot of crime scenes spanning all over North and Northeast Portland.
Wow. Well, there you go. There you go. That's some of your Portland's finest, you might say. Portland's finest, both from police to criminal. We manufacture both in a fantastic way. Is it time to go to the tech studio yet? I don't think so, but here is our tech studio, and it's a little premature for that, I would say. Yeah, quite premature indeed. Do we have any calls on our Zoom chat? Oh, we have, I think we have us a guest. I'm going to admit him. And he has been admitted. Let's see. Is that true? Do we have us the commander on site? Is commander on site in town here? Oh, it looks like we have him. The commander.
Hello, Freddy.
How are you, sir? It's good
Thanks
to
for
see
having
you.
me on.
Oh, thanks for being here. I'm so proud to have my first guest in the studio here. Let me see if I can get this. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, you're coming in. Sound good.
Great. I'm just going to do a slight little adjustment here. And, oh yeah, that should work great. And let me get this guy over here. So, I was so happy to have you here because I have this, and I've been plugging this guy for a while. I don't know if you can see it, but
yeah.
this is your new vinyl, relatively new. Can you tell me something about that?
Well, that's the black and white first pressing there, and so that's a collector's edition. You know, we had finished up a couple years ago, and of course, once the situation got a little bit set back, we just held off, and we wanted to roll those out. You know, when we had time to put it out on vinyl, and of course, you know, Jeff, he was on there, and Steve from the Peasant Band.
Yes,
so that was a joy having them on. And then of course, you know, we had Johnny Spezza and Professor Sad and Clint Sargent and Chuck DeWitt. So it's a real all-star cast.
Wow.
Got together. Hopefully, one of those guys can come on the show and talk about it with you too, Freddie.
Well,
I think they want to get something off.
I would love to have that. I'd love to have a gathering like that.
It has a real, you know, that real rebel spirit that, you know, and it's not just in the sound. This is character development here, where you know, the creep is completely conjured. It's the darkest of them all, and yeah, I mean, I think you're the only person west of the Mississippi that has been brave enough to listen to that. Or east of the Mississippi, I should say.
Well,
most of these boys are from up here in the Pacific Northwest. So
right. Yeah, I understand that. You know, and I was always into some experimental stuff in my time. Let me just quote a little bit here. We have, "Will you give it all away? If I'm here to help you, would you stay another day? Life is a circle. I'm still stuck on blue. Baby's still stuck on me. It's true. Now, where does that come from? What are you thinking about when that comes about?
Well, lyrically, I think this is the only album I put the lyrics on. I'm not big on the lyrics, and a lot of the lyrics come after the music, and I like to leave them intentionally vague. I'm usually trying to just sort of match words and lyrics that fit the sound, and there was a little bit of melancholy and a little bit of I think insight in a couple of those lyrics, as well as we drop the suicide is the radio girl, and so we figure out her name, and
the radio girl.
We kind of figure out some of the color coordination with what the creep is feeling, and it's nothing against red, it's nothing against yellow, but blue just seemed like the color that was coming out at that time.
Right.
I'm big on color therapy and shapes and images, and so I try not to really figure out my own lyrics. I don't even know if I could. Of course.
And I too, I've seen Mr. Dodge and Mr. Sabila in passing. I'm working with the boys, the fellows. Mark Gravner, Jackie Wolfman is producing a new album for us, featuring me on the lead
Jackie
vocals.
To produce.
That's right. Jackie Wolfman is he's also playing bass guitar on it. So I did have
I'll be looking forward to that.
Well, what's fun about you is you also you're a big basketball fan, and that's some of my past. What do you think about the Blazers this year? What in the heck is going on right now?
Well, it's a pretty typical season for what we've seen. I don't think anybody expected the coaching change just to come out and right this ship. If you look at past seasons, they're pretty much doing the same thing they've done. Even when they win 50 games, they start off at about 500, and they usually limp into the next year with that kind of waffling. Now the injuries have definitely played into it, and I think we are sort of seeing the final days of the Dame CJ. I heard somewhere they're the highest scoring duo in history, NBA history.
The highest born?
I heard that, and I couldn't think of anybody besides them, but I was just like, that was a head scratcher. I had a hard time believing that. I'm like, wait a second. Well, we got to keep them together now. Can't break up the highest scoring duo of all time.
That's crazy. That's
gotta have a happy ending to it. So I don't know. That's something maybe Sabila can do a little research on that one.
That's a good point. And you also played basketball and floated around the leagues throughout the 90s and 80s. And I was, of course, in the early 80s playing some of those leagues. I was the youngest coach for the Kentucky Colonels. But tell me some of your basketball stories.
I didn't know that.
Yes, that's correct.
So that's going back. Was that when everything collapsed for them? I remember the arena almost caught on fire. You didn't have anything to do with that, did you?
Oh no. Well,
some of that Kentucky bourbon.
It's kind of a joke because I was only 14. It was sort of a publicity stunt, and they made me an honorary coach. And by 15, I was player coach. So that's what we were doing then.
That's right. You used to dump the Gatorade on the team, and they thought that was the best thing that was going to work for them. I just read about that.
I was a net cutter, and I wanted to be with Kentucky, and I ended up with Bobby Knight, and it didn't work out for me. So I floated around in the Northwest Developmental League. I guess I was interviewed recently for that. They're going to be talking about some of those experimental leagues didn't take off before the NBA got really big and Michael Jordan and all that. I know you were floating around on some of those teams, though, right? Oh, weren't you on the infamous free ride?
Team called Free. I was on Free Ride before I cut loose to the Gamblers, but Free Ride was really where I made my comeback. And I remember there was some great ballers on that team. They're still around. I don't know if they're out on the court anymore. I don't know if any of them could shoot. Last time I tried to get up, I fell down. I clean fell down, and so I'm still watching my highlight reel from about 3 years ago. That was the last time I made a shot.
Well, tremendous, and I'm going to have to be cutting this a little bit short, Commander. Do you have time to stick around for the next break? Maybe we could check back in with you at the top of the hour, but I'm going to have to sell some propaganda here. And
yeah, you do that, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for having me on.
Let's do that. We'll talk a little bit about December 7th. Okay, we're going to be right back. Go Rip City. Go Rip City. But I think most of all it's important that this is a time of year that we should recognize the fruitfulness of our conquest, and that there are things out there that we cannot control, and sometimes it's better to just let it go. This is Freddy Flattemus, and this is Get to the Point. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring it back to Studio B, and it's been a great show. The Commander swung by. He's threatening to come back at the top of the next one. So we'll be back with our last broadcast at 5 o'clock, top of the hour. Thank you for joining Freddy Fantabulous Flattemus. We got the Sonny Boy Commander Curtis in the house. We'll be right back. See ya at the top of the hour. Woohoo! All right now.